Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It is Monday, I believe, and welcome to my first video. I'm going to be doing a series of Pro Tools instructional videos, some small tutorials. Some of you might have seen my earlier video, which was done very amateurly. It was about a microphone technique that I did, that I do like very much. It deals with recording a guitarist and a vocal when it's the vocalist playing the guitar. Wow, that didn't come out very well. Anyway, we looked a little bit at that. I got a little bit of views, quite a lot of friend requests, at least for me. I don't know, maybe 10, so I'm not exactly a hot YouTube star yet. Hopefully we can change that together. Right now I am in lovely Cardiff in Wales. I'm studying sound technology at the University of Glamorgan, and I've just received for Christmas Pro Tools 9. And Pro Tools 9 rocks, I gotta tell you that. So, I also just got this awesome program that I'm going to be using, which screen captures, and I think if everything has gone right, you should be seeing me now, so it captures the image from the camera, and it also shows everything that I'm doing, and you can hear everything that I'm doing. So I figured I would help you guys, who maybe some of you aren't, you know, that proficient at using Pro Tools and mixing, stuff like that. Hopefully I will learn a little bit during this process, and hopefully you will as well. Now, these videos aren't going to be for the advanced users. These videos are going to be for people who are struggling a little bit, and I'm going to show some of the tricks and some of the techniques that I use when I mix. So, by no means a sort of do-all, end-all way to do things. That's the wonderful thing about this industry and about mixing in general and music in general. You know, if it sounds right, do it. It works. This is how I do it, and this is how I did it on this mix. So we're gonna jump straight into Pro Tools. And as you guys can see, I have my mixer window in front. I always like to work in my mixer view when mixing, just because I don't like looking at the audio. I don't like looking at the waveforms. Of course, I'll have to do that when I go in and start automating and editing. But when I'm actually just dealing with how things sound, I want to actually listen to what's going on and not look at what's going on. So we're going to start by just having a little listen to the track that we're going to work with. This is with all the plugins. This is a finished mix that I have sent to the band, and they are happy with it. So we can have a listen to what we're gonna be working with today. Alright, I cut him off mid-sentence, mid-word there. Sorry about that, Mikkel. That is the song that we're going to be doing, and more specifically, we are going to be looking at the drums. So I'm going to scoot over here, and whoops, sorry about that. And as you can see, I've got my drums selected, so we're just going to solo those and have a listen. Now, all my auxes that I've done here, I'm going to do a video on housekeeping on another mix, so I can go through it from the start with you guys. But as you can see, I set up a lot of auxes and basically bust all my tracks through here so that I can sit here and get the general balance. So I'll do the internal aux balances out to the left, and then I'll move into this screen to get the internal balances right. But as you can see, all of these, they're always soloed, so I can do whatever I want here with solos, and it will still, sound will still come through the auxes. So that's a nice little thing. You get that by doing a command solo, at least on a Mac. I believe that would be control solo on a PC. So we're gonna have a listen to the drums, just by themselves. So they're sounding pretty good. I mean, this is what I consider to be a finished mix. Now, bear in mind, I'm not, you know, the most skilled mixer by any means. I've only been doing, sort of interested in sound and working with music for the past 2 years, and I'm in my first year at university. So I'm pretty pleased with how it sounds. So I'm going to go and disable all of these plugins that we have, and also the sends. So let's have a listen to the basic drums. Now, I think that's all you really need to know. Oh, another thing with Pro Tools 9, you see what I just did there? I am running straight off my computer. Isn't that great? You do not need an M-Box. Of course, I have an M-Box, but I haven't quite figured out how to record the audio output from the M-Box yet. So these videos will be running internally, which is so cool that we can actually do it. I love Pro Tools 9. We're going to take a look at the kick to begin with. Now, the first thing that you want to do when you're working with the kick, it depends a little bit on the overall sound that you're going for. Now, what I started with in this mix is setting up a gate. As you can see, this is the Waves C1 gate expander. It's a fantastic gate. It does not look like much. A lot of people would look at a plugin and say, "Oh, that doesn't look cool. I'm not going to use that. That can't sound good." This sounds fantastic. So we're going to take a quick listen. Actually, I'm just going to put a little loop here so that we don't have to worry about tracks. So we don't have to worry about always having to stop and start. So we're going to have a little listen. So right now, we have a bypassed gate, and of course I'm gonna have to put it on loop. Playback again. So we're going to, and that's the wonderful thing about this gate. As you can hear, you're managing to preserve the flavor of the kick. Now, as we can look at my settings here, my floor is of course infinite because I don't want it to be an expander. If I float it out like that, all it's doing is expanding, which is not what we want. We want to actually cut it. What I would do is I will very finely tune the threshold to begin with. I'll start quite low. And yes, you can hear that it does reduce the volume of the kick. And then I'll just start working it up. And as you can hear, it's getting there, but you're still getting some bleed from the snare. So I am going to move it up and make sure that I can get everything from the kick. And you get such fine control with this gate, it's fantastic. We're going to jump back into the mixer view. Now after this, I used a little something called the Eddie Kramer. It's from the Eddie Kramer collection. It's the drums plugin that he has, which is a fantastic plugin. It's great for getting a general sound. I did this because I had just gotten this my set of wave plugins, so I really wanted to just play around with them. So this is sort of what I did in this mix. So we can have a listen to what that sounds like. Now, as you can hear, it really accentuates that very nice click at the top of the kick. fantastic. Now this comes back to the reason why I chose to gate. Usually, also because the Pro Tools gate was it's not very good. It's definitely useful. You can use it, but it's a little bit fiddly to work with sometimes. I decided to go for the gate mainly because if we listen to the kick without the gate. Now, I liked the sound of the Eddie Kramer plugin. The problem is that there's some insane compression going on in this plugin, which is the reason why you're getting that really clicky, really nice punchy sound. It also means it's going to raise the noise, raise the ambient floor, because it's upwards compression, you're setting a peak, and then you're compensating, and this plugin does this automatically. You're compensating for the amount of level that you're reducing at the peaks. So that way, of course, you're bringing up all the underlying noise, all the underlying bleed from the drums. You can hear the difference if I just bypass this now. And then with the gate. Now the last thing that I did to the kick, I used the SSL channel. This is also a fantastic plugin. You can spread it out across a whole mix. I actually did a sort of hard rock mix using nothing but the SSL channel and the SSL bus compressor, and of course some reverbs and delays. Literally, that was everything I used in the whole mix, and it sounded really good. It's one of the mixes that I'm more happy with. So what I did here is I actually went in to the presets page and went on the Chris Lord Alge presets menu, which is something that follows with these plugins. Chris Lord Alge has made some presets based on how he uses a real SSL. And they are really good starting points. I wouldn't use them just, you know, just straight out of the box. It can work, but you should, you know, use them. You get a very good idea of what the settings look like for the application that you're thinking of. And you can do this with any kind of plugin. I mean, these presets are really good, but you can do it with you know, go into your, if you're using Logic, if you're using Cubase, if you're using Pro Tools, there's always going to be presets, factory presets that come with the plugins. Go in, have a look at them. If there's one called toms or low toms, personally I find toms to be some of the hardest sort of tracks to EQ, just because they're so important, but you don't hear them that much. Because you don't really have a good idea of how should you boost it without, you know, destroying the balance and sort of covering over other things. Go in there, have a look at it, listen to it, and then you can start fine-tuning, because you've got a good starting point. And it's a fantastic way to learn how to do things. So I went in and used CLA Kick 2 by the looks of it. And then, of course, he has massive amounts of compression, and he's got a gate on it. And he also likes boosting the crap out of the top end, which of course a lot of this the Eddie Kramer had already done. All I wanted to do really was to accentuate the beefiness of the kick, so now we can listen to the final kick by its own. And bypassed. So it's quite a subtle change, but it does give, I felt it gave it a little more punch and a little more body to it. So the next thing that I usually do is I will check it with the rest of, usually with the bass. I'll check the bass, just to sort of get a basic level going between them. You sort of want to set your levels before you start mixing, but we're not going to be looking at that now. I'm going to jump straight over to the snare, because that's the next thing that I start working at.